Got my tea. We're talking about the economy, baby. Woo! Talking about the economy, baby. Woo! Woo! Oh, man. I love economics. The economy's gonna crash and a lot of people are gonna die, resort to cannibalism. It's alright though. I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna teach you about economics. This is gonna be in a format to where I'm gonna talk about things in a non-organized way, so bear with me through this process. So basically the way that they've set up our economy is that we can afford things, some things, right? We're kind of like fake rich is what I call it. Basically, we can have a Netflix account, we can buy some cars, we can scrape by, have enough to survive. We can have a little bit of luxuries, we can eat out. But the real things that are important, the things that are wealth building, the things that you need to build wealth, to own wealth, like a house. Who owns a house? Do you own a house? I don't own a house. Do you own a house? Do you? Do you own a house? Do you own a house? Huh? Do you own a house? You don't have anything that you're going to pass down to your kid. What do you have? You're going to pass down your Netflix subscription to your kids? That's their inheritance? They're going to have Netflix and McDonald's wrappers that you collected? No. You need to build real wealth. This is important stuff. People don't take this serious enough. Look at me, I'm a serious guy. I take this serious. Building wealth is serious. It's something that you have to do. You have to pass down wealth to your future generations, to your kids. You have to build wealth to where you're comfortable. You don't have to worry, how am I going to pay the bills next month? How am I going to survive? How am I going to do these things? How am I going to live a life that I want to live, even? You want to build wealth so you can enjoy your life, be comfortable, and pass down to the next generation. It's very important. People aren't serious enough. That's the thing is, it annoys me how silly people get. This is very important. This is something that you need to think about. We have Hulu. We have flat screen televisions. We have computers. We got iPhones. We have. We can go out to a restaurant. But will you own a house? Will you have money, real money? Will you have gold, silver to pass down to your children? Can you pass down something to your children, like legitimately, that has value? Now let's talk about why I think the economy is going to crash. The U.S., at the time I'm recording this, the U.S., United States of America to most people, is in $39 trillion of debt. That's a lot of money. Who's gonna pay that? Huh? Who do you think's gonna pay $39 trillion in debt? The U.S. government? You think they're gonna pay that money back? Huh? How do you think they get their money? Huh? You think they just print the money? Huh? Yeah, they could do that. Who pays for it though? Who pays for it? You do. You pay for it. I pay for it. We collectively pay for it. And by we, I mean not the elite class. Because there are classes in this country, and we are not the elite class. We are scum, bottom class, workers, slaves. The elite class, the politicians, the tech moguls, the bureaucrats, the people that wear suits and go to board meetings, they will not pay for it. $39 trillion. They're not going to pay for it. We're going to pay for it. Remember that. So I'm just explaining to you why the economy's bad, why it's going to get worse, and why you should be worried. So remember, $39 trillion in debt. You don't understand how much money that is. I'm telling you, you can't wrap your head around that. That's an insane amount of money. Another thing that we're doing that is bad is we are outsourcing all of our work, all of our production. Everything I own is made in China, Indonesia, Japan. One thing is, I look around my house and I notice I have like 1 million things that I own that were made by a slave in China. I own so many things that a slave spent their time making. When you look at the problem, the United States outsources all of the work to other countries, which sounds good because we obtain everything, we consume everything, we get all the things, but we don't have to make the things, we just get the things. There's no way I've done enough work in my life to actually earn all the things that I own. I own a lot of things that takes a lot of time to make. I've not done enough work in time that compares to the amount of time it took to make the stuff that I own. We don't produce nearly as much as we consume. That might sound good to you, but if you look back at history, at the other empires that come before us, economic powerhouses like England, before that, France at one point in time, and before that, Spain. One of the problems that these countries share is that they began to outsource their work. This is America. We consume so much. If you haven't realized at this point, you have your head buried in the sand. We consume an insane amount of things. We don't produce a lot of things. How do we get away with it? We have the strongest military in the world, times 100, and we can get away with a lot. But something like that system isn't going to last forever. It hasn't lasted for those other empires I've talked about. Where's England and France and Spain today? They're shells of their former selves. Another thing that those countries had in common is war. They were in wars that bankrupted them. The United States was at war with England, Great Britain, whatever it was. And Great Britain was at war with France. They were at war with the colonies. And it was very harsh on their economy. Going to war is very costly, and if done incorrectly, it can bankrupt your nation. It can make things extremely more expensive. The way I'm looking at this war in Iran currently is the oil is not coming through the Strait of Hormuz, which you've probably heard, and gas prices are going up, which along with gas prices, everything else goes up. Everything goes up with gas prices. When we're not getting as much oil, that means there's less plastic. Plastic's made with oil. And everything uses plastic nowadays. How much everything we buy has plastic. It's wrapped in plastic. It's made of plastic. So what do you think happens when we have less oil coming in? There's less plastic. Plastic gets more expensive. Gas gets more expensive. Everything along with it gets more expensive. And like we saw with the economy after COVID, rapid inflation occurs and those prices never come back down. Think about the fraud in this country. The people who fake disability, get welfare checks, VA disability, and they're able-bodied people that get welfare and do nothing, and they get money, they get checks from us taxpayers. What's going on in Minneapolis right now? You know, daycares that are not real, fake daycares that get, I don't even know how much, millions of dollars every year. Now that's not as big a scale as the other things that I have seen. You know, there's big things that go on with the government that are even higher scale than that, but that still strains the economy. Who's going to pay for it? Think about that. Who's going to pay for it? Fat people that eat Cheetos going to pay for it? Or are the strong young men going to pay for it? Who's going to save this country? Is it going to be the fat people eating Cheetos on their couch who collect welfare checks? Are they going to save us? I don't think so. They're ruining us. Guys that work at the ports, they do as little work as possible. These union workers, they got it so cushy, so cozy. They do very little work and they make $100 an hour. You got a cozy job at the ports. You're making $100 an hour and all you do is, yep, go ahead. Yep, go ahead. I'm going to take a 5-hour break. No one can fire me. I'll just take a 5-hour break. Who's going to fire me? I'm union. They got it so cozy, those people. These are the people that are killing us. These are the people that should feel shame. We should shame these people. They're the ones killing us. They're the reason you can't own real wealth. People like this. Selfish people. You might think it's nice to do nothing and get paid for it. That's the kind of thing that gets you punished by God. Stuff like that. The fact of the matter is that the US dollar will ultimately fail. They will print more of it, the debt will continue to rise, and one day everything is just gonna blow up. People talk about the stock market AI bubble. There's a whole economy bubble. The economy doesn't make sense. If you look at the economy, it doesn't make sense and it will reset eventually. Another thing I want to mention is credit card debt. There's all-time record credit card debt for Americans right now. You're going to find tens of thousands of TikToks probably of people saying I have $40,000 of credit card debt, I have $150,000 of credit card debt. I'm 18 years old and I have $400,000 of credit card debt. There is so much debt in this country, not just the United States, but the actual people. And who do you think's going to pay that debt? Who's going to pay that debt? The credit card companies sold the debt to another company. What happens when everything blows up? Who pays for it always? You might be young. You might be a young person listening to this. You might be my age because the only people that see these videos are my friends and they don't even watch all the way through. So nobody's watching this right now. But you know that when this stuff happens, the people that pay for it always are the taxpayers. Remember the housing market crash? Who paid for it? Who bailed out these companies? Who bailed out all the car manufacturers? Who bailed out all these banks? You might think it was the government, but it was the taxpayers. That's why we get robbed every paycheck. Because we pay for all the destruction that these people do. You've probably done some destruction yourself, but I'm begging you to not do that anymore. Do what's right. Get with God and be a productive person to society. Stop consuming and start producing. Save your wealth so that it can't be stolen. Don't keep your money in a bank like a bozo. If you keep tons of money in the bank, it's going to get stolen by the bank. The bank's going to steal it. And when the stock market crashed 100 years ago, people tried to pull their money out the bank. They couldn't get it. You know why? Because the bank didn't have it. They didn't have the money. Because they already stole it from you. You can't get it back out once everything crashes. So you have to store it yourself. You can't trust the bank with your money. Now, I understand having, some money in the bank just for now, but for emergencies, for your long-term savings, for your actual wealth building, you don't want to trust the bank with that. One thing that I do is I buy gold, and I keep it, I bury it in my backyard in a little tin can. And when I die, nobody will be able to find it, and it'll be lost forever. That's something that you need to think about doing. You might want to consider that. You might want to consider burying it in your backyard and losing it. All kidding aside, I think you know what I'm trying to say. And I think it's not easy to build wealth. It takes sacrifice. It takes grit and determination. You have to put effort into building wealth. But ultimately, it's a righteous thing. It's a good thing for your family. And you should put effort into it. You should make sacrifices to get it. It is getting harder and harder. And you should consider these words that I've said. I hope you take them seriously, and I hope it makes you think a little bit. The battery on my camera is about to die, so I'm going to end the video here. Cheers.